All right, guys, what's going on? How's everyone doing today? Wednesday, May 13th. It's 10:13 a.m. Just getting back on track. Been busy uploading, editing, and filming for you guys. So we are up. I just uploaded my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of Keyshawn Davis versus Nahir Albright 2. Yesterday, I uploaded my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of Corinne Chukachan versus Patty the Real Deal Donovan. Those are up on the fight prediction playlists. If you guys are new to the channel, I say welcome. I do the breakdown analysis and the edited fight predictions, the Stats Don't Lie videos. Those are on a separate playlist. This is my daily boxing betting live stream. We go over boxing, MMA. It's the NBA playoffs. Yesterday, I was streaming during the Cavs game. Cleveland tied it up. The life of a Cavs fan. Go down 2-0, tie up at 2-2. We'll probably lose in 6, but we'll see. And we're going to talk about the cards. We got fights starting in a couple days. If you're a JSB insider, you should have 4 tickets. So all the boys, check your Patreon, check the members only section on YouTube. You should have, well, there's 5 live tickets. We have our long quarterly parlay that I gave you guys back in April. So that's still live. That is a 9-legger that pays plus 600. That's still live. That's with Bumgarner, Inoue, Benavidez, and Hrgovic and Davis are both on that ticket. You guys should also have. We've done an A side top rank parlay. If you guys are linked in, you'll know what that means. Top Rank traditionally and historically is known for feeder fights for the A side. There's a couple close fights. It's a Norfolk, Virginia card. This is at the Scope Center, headlined by Keyshawn Davis. So that's up. That 5-leg A side pays plus 114. I gave you guys my prop of the week. It's a points prop plus 155. You guys have my underdog of the week, which right now is a UFC fight. That's at plus 141. And I gave you guys a Euro triple, a Euro step, a little hezzy triple, paying plus 123. So check the Patreon, check the YouTube members section. Guys, we have finally passed 500 JSB insiders. I want to give a shout out to the newest JSB insiders. We got Bobby Wagum. Bobby Wagum was the newest. And our 500th was actually Cody Polam. So shout out to Cody. We started this August. And we're just now middle of May. We passed 500. We're at 501. I want to thank everybody for the support. And we are a community that's growing. So that being said, let's get to work. I'm going to pull up the odds, and I'll take your questions in a second. All right, so let's have a look at the odds that we're getting right now. Let me click. I'm going to keep that link pinned in the comment section. Click that link. It's a couple bucks a month. Join our JSB Insider group. Okay, so yesterday when I got off the live stream, we had 12 fights. Let's see if they added anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, they haven't added any fights. They should be adding them because it's still only Wednesday morning. You know, we got a few days. The first fight doesn't take place until Saturday at 5 a.m. Okay. I like my early morning Saturday. I like it. So this will be your Friday night in America. So we know the Mannheim card. This is the card that goes down in Mannheim, Germany. So this is the Karen Chukachan fight versus Patty Donovan. It goes down in Mannheim, Germany. If you're in Australia like myself, that fight will go down at 5 a.m. Saturday morning. It should be for you Americans, considering 55% of the subscribers here are American, Friday night. So you guys get Friday night boxing from Germany. Have a look at your books. You should know my play. These lines haven't moved they haven't moved at all, to be honest with you. I like Karen here on the money line. Karen's going to be the A side. Karen's the hometown guy. Even though this fight's in Germany, he's a Ukraine fighter. They're not going to have a fight in Kiev. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to go to Germany. We know that I'm pretty sure the Klitschko's used to fight in Germany a lot. And that's where this fight takes place. Money line, 72% return, Chukachan. I think he wins the decision. Currently, I'm just playing him on 1 ticket. As this week progresses and they give us more betting props, I might prop Karen on points with something else, maybe Hrgovic. a prop, but right now we're not getting anything. So that, and you know what? I'll currently go over. So you know my take on Karen versus Patty, right? I'll take your questions in a second. I want to check to see if they're giving us props on Wu versus Keyshawn. So Keyshawn's a big favorite, $1.09, 100 on him on the money line. You get $9 back. And Albright is an 8-1 favorite. The prop I'm playing is Keyshawn on points. I like Keyshawn to I like Albright to be tough and gritty. We know that this is a guy who has a long jab. He's a bit tricky in there. He doesn't do anything explosively well. He's not the biggest puncher. He's not the fastest guy, but he's a real pro. At 30 years old, I think this is the best version. He lost his pro debut, and then his only other loss was to Jermaine Ortiz on points. And the last time we saw Keyshawn looked amazing, stopping Jermaine Ortiz in the last round. So, and we saw Albright fight Frank Martin. So that breakdown, if you want to hear in detail all my talking points, that's up. I like Keyshawn money line. I like Keyshawn on points at plus 155. In the points play, the points play is just a tip to the hat. You know, this fight's personal. It's the second time they fought. The first fight they gave Keyshawn a majority decision. I just rewatched it. I thought those cards were a little bit close. I thought Keyshawn won it unanimously, and we know the Texas Commission afterwards they test for marijuana. Like, what are we doing? You're testing for weed, and then he failed a weed test. It's weed. You in here for weed? You ever sucked some for coke? I seen him. Anyway. You in here for weed, man? You ever suck some dick for coke? Crazy. Loma's back. That's the rumor. Are we excited when guys retire and come back? Just like I offended a lot of you guys yesterday on my live when I told you that I'm not an Eminem fan. I'm not. It doesn't excite me that Lomachenko is returning. I'm sorry. I'm not stoked. I don't like when fighters retire and then they come back. You retire, stay fucking retired, mate. Stay away. I'm not it's not like I was sitting here waiting for Lomachenko to come back. I'm like, you better dig down, go heels in, and stand on business. Julius Norma 1-6. Are you getting those props? I'm just old fashioned guy. I'm an old, miserable old man. You know what I mean? If you're retired, stay retired. Stop using us, the fans, as like oh, I'm not retired anymore. Let's all like, I don't care, dude. You retired once, stay retired. I ain't got time for all this. Look, we got all these fights in front of us we got to worry about. Let's see Brian Norman Jr. But it is boxing, no props yet. It is boxing, and we know that fools retire and unretire. Anyway, what's up, Christos? Morning, Johnny. Hope all is well. Senior UFC dog of the week. I like Melky, man. I remember watching Melky on the regional scene when LFA LFA used to be on Fight Pass. I'm not sure if it still is, but they did a Brazil card. They did LFA Brazil maybe 5 years ago. That's the first time I heard of Melky. And you know, I like what I see. He's tall, long, rangy, durable, tough as nails. A guy like Arnold Allen, I don't, you know, maybe Arnold Allen never really lived up to his potential. At one time, he was one of the hottest prospects, contenders coming out of the UK. I remember watching Arnold Allen on the UK scene. I just think that Melky, he's gonna be too much, and I got him at plus money. Sprinkle on the dog. Let's go. Money Meach. Johnny, how much of I watched Sylvester's last two fights. He didn't look good. So Johnny, we'll pull it up. I watched his last two fights against some jobbers. He doesn't look good to me. Considering Maxi's age, new weight class, coming off a knockout loss, this being his fourth fight in 12 months, I'm seeing a dog. Yeah, that's what I heard, man. Have fun with that. I'm not siding with the dog here. I'll show you why. So Sylvester's a plus 330 at the moment. We can break this down. Let's break it down. When I'm doing tape, guys, I'm not going anything past two fights. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't have to watch it because I watch all the fights anyway. And if a guy's active, I've seen Maxi Hughes. I didn't have to watch any of Maxi Hughes' tape. I had to watch Sylvester. Sylvester's not good, man. That dude, if Maxi Hughes can't beat him, he retires, right? That's how I look at it. If Maxi Hughes can't beat Louis Sylvester, you retire. 29-9, 36 years old. Yeah, we saw him. Pierce O'Leary stopped him in the 5th. Uzmadov, he loses. This fight is where at Doncaster. I know the boys are gun shy after the last weekend with David Morrell losing, and it's fun to find upsets. But I mean, come on, dude. 18-1, 4 knockouts, fighting at 140 pounds. Maxie Hughes cuts a lot of weight. I'm not worried about the weight class. This is what I'm worried about. This dude is not good. He fights Dale Aerosmith. He beats Dale Aerosmith on points. Dale Aerosmith is 6-149. He beats him on points. He then fights Ali Lubanya, wins on points, who's 6-3. He wins a split decision against Reese Mold at 135 pounds. So when we're talking about moving up in weight, I mean, you're looking at these weight classes, right? It's not like your boy Sylvester is this beast of a man who's just been destroying the domestic scene. It's not like he's been steamrolling everybody on the domestic scene. If Maxie Hughes can't beat this dude, you need to retire because this dude is not good. Claim to fame, getting beat up by Sam Noakes. But yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. If anything, if you guys are looking for a dog, I'd rather play Patty Donovan. But I got Karen to win. I definitely don't see Maxie losing this fight. Really wide base. This is what I just see a guy who's really wide, really basic, doesn't punch. I think he's going to get steamrolled. But I mean, Maxie Hughes, 35 years old. I understand your take. I don't think this is it. And his level of competition, mate. The level of competition is what worries me. Yeah, it's a home game. Shout out to Germany. Oh, Julius. Let's see what the knockout pays. The sniper. The sniper is back. Guys, like this video, man. Your likes have been slipping lately. We're at 52 right now. 14 minutes in. Like the video. Thumbs up. The sniper, Julius, is saying Karen Chukajan by knockout. Let's see it. Dude, Karen hasn't knocked anyone out since the silent film era. But you're not the only guy, man. You're the second guy in 2 days who told me Karen by knockout. I just think that Patty... I think Patty's manufactured, guys. I'm sorry. I think Patty's manufactured. I give him the speed advantage. I give him the power advantage. But everything to me looks a level, like from a boxing perspective, he looks a bit like against low-level competition. He looks slick. I'm talking Patty. Low level, he looks slick. He looks like a mover. You know, he got good hand speed. He has power. But then the step up against Crocker, it was a step up, and make what you will. On the record, the history books will always say he has 2 losses. We just can't rewrite history because he had a mental lapse, and 5 seconds after the bell rang, he punches Lewis and he gets DQ'd. We can't say that was a win because he was up on the cards, because it wasn't. He lost. And the second fight, he gets dropped twice, and he loses his split decision. He got dropped twice. My point is, in that lower level competition, he boxes a different way, and then you see him against Crocker, and he's stiff, and he's punching with his chin. It looked like two different guys. So that's my issue with Donovan is when I watch his tape on the come up, on the rise. He was a good amateur too, good amateur experience. When I watch his tape against low level guys, he looks a different way. And then you watch him fight against Crocker, and he's super stiff. His chin's in the air. He's marauding. He has no game plan. He's just relying on his athleticism. In a boxing match, Karen Chukachim, I think, is going to box his ears off. Karen's not going to be the faster guy, but he has better timing, and he's just the better boxer. I think he's going to box his ears off. To say he's going to knock him out, that's interesting. Plus 675. You know, that's talk about, you know, that value play excites me. I might sprinkle something on it. Keyshawn by stoppage. You think Keyshawn will be the first guy to stop Wu? You think my issue with Keyshawn by stoppage is this? Let me try to find it for you boys. So Keyshawn's been on record saying he didn't want this fight. That bothers me a bit. And I brought this up in my breakdown. It always bothers me when a fighter says he didn't want the fight.
You know, a lot of fight fans at that point were thinking you were going to fight Keyshawn potentially in a rematch. Why didn't that fight not happen? Just curious.
Oh no, this is Nahir. Keyshawn has a tweet. This was like 2 days ago. Here we go. This one. This bothers me. I'm sorry. Yeah, this was 3 days, a week and a half ago.
Be upset, saying all the right things. But what do you say? Him saying, you know, be ready, all that.
You know, that's what everybody's saying. They're supposed to promote themselves. You know, I don't really know if that comes in there and just be like, I just gonna lay down. You know.
That echoes crazy. That echoes crazy. Go to YouTube. Type in this thing. You'll see what I'm talking about. And you know, you got to side with Keyshawn. It's like it's not a title fight. He just coming off that spectacular fight against Jermaine Ortiz. First guy to stop Jermaine. He wants to be a 2-division world champion. Now, the fight was overturned. He already beaten Nahir Albright once, but like I just said against Patty Donovan, with him having not won a fight since 2024, Patty Donovan, the 2 losses to Crocker, Keyshawn didn't beat Nahir. So if you can't get up for that, and plus we know about the locker room drama, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I do, you know, the fight's at the Scope Arena. It's in Norfolk. We've seen Keyshawn shine when he's at home. He's a great boxer, puncher, hand speed, power. He's in my pound for pound list. I'm a big Keyshawn Davis fan. I'm just trying to do my prop of the week is Keyshawn on points because I don't want to disrespect Wu like that. The last time I disrespected Wu, he kind of was beating up Frank Martin. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be a good one. It's tough, dude. Playing props is a tough game, boys. You guys know that. Yeah, playing props is a tough game. Let's get those odds back up. Okay, so let's see what the boys are saying first. Key by stoppage minus 125. So you boys think he's going to be... Why do you just think he's that much better than Albright? They went 10 rounds only 2.5 years ago. He didn't stop him. Mike from Melbourne. What's up, Mikey boys? OG. Mike from Melbourne. How you doing? He was waiting for the contract to expire, bro, to get good fights. Loma. Yeah, I know. I'm old. I don't get excited when guys retire and come back. I don't think I see Loma being any top fighters. Yeah, he's old now. Upper 30s, I think. Jay Grizz, what up, money? I think Keyshawn might make a statement. What's up, buddy? Appreciate you. My man staying fit and active, baby. Let's keep him off of us, boy. Let's still good. The thing about it is, though, man, I just watched Keyshawn versus Wu 1. And watch, Wu has this thing about him that, you know, he's going to have an inch and a half reach advantage against Keyshawn. On paper, they say he's an half inch taller, but I don't give him any other physical advantage. Like I talked about, Keyshawn's world class. Even Wu's best tool, in my opinion, is his jab. Keyshawn's jab is better. The problem with this is we got to see this already, how it played out. Keyshawn could say whatever he wants about the first fight. He could talk about it was the worst fight of his career. He could go on record 2 days ago saying he's going to knock out Nahir Albright. But Nahir Albright's a different guy. This every time we see him keep adding levels. Even though I picked Ghost to beat him, from round 5 onwards, once Ghost started to fade, Wu was winning that fight. And we felt lucky getting a draw. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't think that Nahir Albright's going to come in there and get steamrolled. I definitely don't. I think he's tricky, man. He knows how to use his length. He knows how to use the ring. He's not going to really be punching with Keyshawn. It's not like Albright is the type of fighter. He's not a boxer puncher. He's not going to be hooking with the hooker. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be trying to pick and pop, exit, pick and pop, then clinch. Pick and pop, exit, jab, level change, then clinch. Circle away from that power side. You know, so it's going to be a lot of this sort of decision-making. I think Nahir Albright is good enough to not allow Keyshawn to just bully him and walk him down and knock him out. I don't see that happening. I think the way the knockout would come to play is if Keyshawn got Albright to fight punch with him. And the only time Albright was punching with Frank Martin was when he saw Frank starting to fade. And then it's a different thing. Nahir Albright is a very smart fighter. You know, he's a very sort of cerebral guy in there. He's watching what's happening. You know, I'm going to bring up his education. He's a nurse. It's not easy to get a bachelor's in science. My mother is a nurse. You know, he's an educated dude. He's a smart guy, and he's a high-level boxer. So that's where I'm leaning. You know, I got Keyshawn winning. But I'm also kind of tipping my hat to Nahir, thinking that he should be able to navigate the rounds. But then again, man, we'll see. Keyshawn's a tough task. They're not giving Malcolm Wellmaker any easy fights. Tough, durable, pressure, Peruvian. Michael, I thought Etrim Jin was in Mexico. Isn't Etrim in Mexico? Maybe I'm wrong. Randall Light, we still good. 24 minutes in, we're floating between 50 and 60 in this live. It's a Wednesday morning live. We're out here doing it for the people. Just like the video, guys. What are we doing? Guys, we had 500 JSP Insiders. Shout out to Cody Pollins. Cody was our 500th. Come on, boys. I've been waiting. 500 in the Discord, baby. August. My goal when I launched it in August was to get to 500 in the first year. We are 3 months ahead of schedule. As a matter of procedure, as soon as you check in, hit that like button. Let him know, Mikey. Mike from Melbourne, you let him know. This is how it's the gentleman thing to do. GMS is back. Thoughts on Darty and Haddam. Let's pull it up, GMS. Let's pull it up. It's been on my radar. The odds are pretty interesting, too. The fight that no one's talking about is Kusei versus Jerusalem. That's the fight that I think when we're talking dogs, and I'll get, you know what? Let me give my JSB Insider some love. Let's get to his question first, then I'll go to my potential dog of the week. So GMS says the Doherty fight. Yeah, I got a mate in the UK who likes a team here. I haven't done my due in my notes. So shout out the notes from yesterday. You boys told me to download Freddie Gibbs, Currency, and Dom Kennedy. I write everything down. So I need to check on Doherty. I need to check on Doherty versus Hatim. Because I got a guy in the UK who told me to look at this fight. Possible dog. Here's the one, and we'll come back to that later in the week, GMS. Here's the dog that I've been looking at. I rewatch. I'm gonna do a Statstone live video on this one. This is my next video. I just rewatched the second fight or the first fight. This is a rematch. Melvin Jerusalem versus Kusei. Now, Kusei lost I think a majority decision. Maybe it was a split. Let's check it out. Okay, so this is a rematch from a fight that just took place at minimum weight. They fought the first time in August. Now, this is the biggest thing why I'm hesitant on, guys. I know some of the we have a Filipino fan base here. We're an international show, so we're not shading anybody just because we think one will win. It's not like we're fans of the fighter. We're trying to we win money here, right? Here's something that needs to be looked at, guys. Never underestimate and never undervalue the A side component when you're betting your money. It's we talk about it all the time. We just saw Zuffa. For now, guys, play Zuffa is a fight card. Whenever Zuffa fights, you better be dog hunting. We see it time and time again. So write in your notebook, Zuffa fight card, dogs are live. Write in your notebook, top rank fight card, A sides always win. We're being blessed by the boxing gods this weekend to actually have a top rank card in Norfolk. The Keyshawn Davis is a top rank card. I have a 5-leg A side parlay. It pays plus 112. Look at the receipts. Top rank cards, A sides generally win. Now, moving past promotional sort of secrets. We talked about Zuffa. We talked about top rank. A rematch in a fighter's home country when the first fight happened in the other fighter's home country, in which, in my opinion, was a 50-50 fight. I'll show you that this fight is in South Africa. This rematch between Jerusalem and Kusei is in South Africa. The first fight between Jerusalem and Kusei was in the Philippines, Manila. And I'll show you the scorecards. I just rewatched the fight. I put it in the Discord. I said this fight was way closer than what they gave them a majority decision. So they gave, if you see right here. So the first fight happened in October. The judges gave Jerusalem 115, 113, 116, 112, 116, 112. There were a lot of swing rounds. There were a lot of nip and tuck rounds. I mean, I kind of scored it one round towards Jerusalem. Maybe could have been a draw. A buddy I was watching the fight with said he thought Kusei won. And I'll pull up the odds now. But check where this fight is at. This fight is now in Kusei's backyard in South Africa at Kempton Park. Kusei South African, as you guys know. Jerusalem is Filipino fighter, as you guys know. And so when we're thinking about dog plays, it's a rematch. It's in Kusei's backyard. We got to think about the judges. Plus 245 might be the play. I'd like to hear your feedback. I still got probably 24 hours before I make it official, but I'm open-minded. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Yeah, so Sylvester ain't good, bro. He looked at Sylvester's garbage, dude. Sylvester's dead. I take that back. Louis Sylvester is an 18-1 pro. I'm an old man who's on my couch in my spare room in Sydney. I don't mean he's garbage. I got caught up. He's a pro. Respect to all fighters. This is not a casual channel. Louis, what I mean by that, I don't think Louis Sylvester is at the level of Maxie Hughes. I think that all of boxing, the boxing betting community on YouTube, is a bit gun shy over the last week. What happened with some of the dogs, and that's normal. So anybody like Barry in Boxing is one of my favorite analysts on the internet. He's a JSP insider. He commented. He's in our he does great work. And so I gotta listen when he thinks Sylvester's live. It's why I had to go watch his last two fights. I woke up this morning 5-6 hours ago and I see Barry in Boxing talking about that Maxie Hughes could be in trouble here, and I'm like, what? I didn't see it. I had already put money on Maxie too. I was like, let me rewatch a couple tapes of Sylvester. I just don't see it. But then again, did anybody? Nobody saw Professor Chelly beating Morrell, and that's going to be our bullet point for the next few weeks. You know how this goes. For the next few weeks, that's going to be our talking point. We saw this happen with the Morrell fight. We kind of have to be cautious now. Don't become a victim to your own sort of doubt. Just because it happened once doesn't mean it can happen again. Don't start second guessing your eye. Don't start second guessing your research. Don't start second guessing your instinct because you lost a parlay. This is the business we play, guys. It's like this. Nobody wins everything. Losses are part of everything. Wins are part of everything. And I tell you all the time, the difference is between somebody who wins consistently is when you're winning, don't get too high. When you're losing, don't get too low, and don't chase. And don't bet with an ego. You know, don't sit here and act like you're the best. Nobody's the best. Don't sit here and act like you suck either, because that's another thing is don't get too down on yourself. If you're too down on yourself and you're losing money and you're chasing, take the week off. You know, I say it all the time. The best bet is the one we don't make. So if you're second guessing yourself, which I understand why, if you have PTSD from Shadesha Green versus Auntie Lonnie Daniels or Dave Morrell versus Professor Chessie, don't bet, right? But I don't see the Louis Sylvester hype. Jerry, is there a boxing dog away? I'm leaning on Kusei at the moment. That was the last minute replacement 51. That wasn't a split decision win. Mole, he clearly won 98, 92, 97, 93. See, Barium's digging deep on Sylvester. These guys are just forcing dogs. If Maxi Hughes was an underdog right now, they'd be true. Look, and the good thing about our community is nobody's judging anybody. Look, you guys, we're all grown men. We're gonna live with our wins. We're gonna live with our losses. And you know, this is the best part of the week. We're in research mode, boys. We are in right after research mode is debate mode. We're kind of on the cusp of film study, research, riffing, which could be also debate. And then by tomorrow night, my heels are dug in. You know what I mean? Like you ain't talking me out of nothing. Right now, all my picks, you guys know, they're up. You're not talking me out of those picks. It's not like I'm just throwing shit on a wall. My picks I've researched. I like them. You could ask me about them. A fight that I can be talked out of is like the Kusei versus Jerusalem fight. Because right now I'm 80-20 on the dog. I want somebody to sell me on Jerusalem. Maybe. Did anybody watch Jerusalem Kusei 1? Sylvester looked the same. Maxi looks Zepeda. Both stopping around the same time. Sylvester didn't fight Zepeda. Did they both fight Zepeda? What are your thoughts, Gomez Jr., McGregor? I think Lee might take it. And it's a good question, King. Shout out to King. Jerron Ennis, Philly in the house. Boots. We're about to see the big fella. Can't wait for Boots Xander. We got greatest sport on the world, man. Greatest sport on earth. Gomez look. Gomez is, comes from good pedigree. We know, I think his pops was a pretty big star in Europe, in the UK, in his own right. And I wasn't really too high on him until his last fight. He kind of looked good in his last fight, didn't he? And he's a big boy, isn't he? For the division. Lee McGregor is a kid that his biggest opportunity was wasn't it the Scottish Highlands title, or maybe it was the Lonsdale belt, one of my favorite belts. You guys hate some of the people. I love that Lonsdale, that rainbow colored ring looking belt. It's one of my favorite optic belts. But he lost. He got stopped against Nathaniel Collins. We broke the fight down. If you want to watch that prediction, it's on the playlist. I won a lot of money on Nathaniel Collins, and I know a lot of the internet was taking Lee. So I'm always weary on comeback fights that are 50-50 on paper when the other guy is a dude that I faded already. You know, if you guys are keeping track of your stats, you should have a list of guys you've already faded. I've already faded Lee McGregor. So it's really tough for me to pick Lee McGregor to beat Gomez Jr. Am I going to take Gomez Jr.? Let's see the odds. I haven't looked at him too in depth yet. Ah, man. Shout out to King for bringing it. I really wasn't even looking at this fight. I know a couple of the boys asked me about it last week. I still wasn't looking at this fight. This is the most I've been looking at this fight. Damn. I think I like Gomez here, mate. I have to rewatch. I swear I liked what he looked like in his last fight, right? But you got to think Lee McGregor's going to be hungry, man. Lee McGregor was the favorite going into the Nathaniel Collins fight, and he got walked. And we, thank God we won a lot of money. I only say that is he's going to be hungry. I think Lee, what's Lee? He's only like 28, 29. Damn, how's he? Dude, this is a big 135er. This is a big boy making 135. Yeah, the Jordan Flynn fight. He looked good against Jordan Flynn. He kind of fell apart, though, against Reese Bellotti, the Bama. Damn, dude. These are shot. Dude, the UK, boys, the UK is not making it easy on us, are they, with these 50-50 domestic fights, boy? Shit. Oh, God. These 50, the UK lately, the British scene, man, these 50-50 UK British fights at the C level, at like the domestic B level, boy, it's kind of like, where's a coin at? What do you like? Which one? Like, damn. Karen low key could get the KO. Yeah, Karen, I'm high on Chukajan. I haven't made my prop live yet. Self-made, like, logically, I'm agreeing with self-made. Like, the logic will say that, right? I do not like the way Patty, though, stands there and punches with you with his chin here. Did you watch Patty as an amateur? Watch Patty even a couple fights before the first Lewis Crocker fight. His style looks like he changed it. Am I the only one seeing that? Because before the two Crocker fights, he looked like a mover. He kind of looked like a slick operator. And then the two fights against Crocker, he's trying to act like this bully, big puncher, let me fight your ego guy. And he looks chinny. Like he gets clipped now. I'm like, I think that's a sign of levels. So I could see Karen stopping him. How you feel about the Keon fight? Are we getting odds, King? Dude, this is the funnest thing in the world, boys. I'm sorry, I have to reiterate that. Hanging out with the crew, going over the fights, checking the odds. Man, what else is there? All right, so we're talking Keon. Just remember, King, this is an A-side top rank card. The brothers are fighting at home in Norfolk. I think he's on my ticket. He's on my ticket. I have him on the money line. So yes, I think he's good there. I think even Calvin. I think even Calvin versus my boy Pete is good there. Pete might outwork him on the down. Pete Dobson might outwork Kelvin. I just don't think any of these B sides are getting a close fight nod in Norfolk. Patty has no defense. Patty uses too much reflex, so I'm seeing him tiring out late. Yeah, man. Patty is very emotional in there. You know what I'm saying? Think about some of your favorite fighters. Like, think about when Shakur's fighting. Shakur's fighting, he looks like he could take a nap. Shakur, he's so smooth in there. It's like his resting heart rate during a fight looks like it's at 60. Patty's the other way around. Patty is very high strung. That tells me he's very emotional in there. He's very like that. And they've done studies on our bodies. Our body has we have a fight, flight, and freeze response in fear. So our parasympathetic nervous system and our sympathetic nervous system. This is responsible for like our heart rate, how we react during stressful times, our cognition during fearful situations in our life. And study after study shows as that heart rate elevates and our sympathetic nervous system goes into overdrive and we're getting into that sort of fear response, it's harder and harder for us to make logical decision making. So this is why they always talk about use your breath. You want to be calm in a fight. You never want to be emotional in a fight. And when I watch Patty Donovan fight, he looks like he's always up here. Mosley, look, dude. Watch my breakdown of Boacek versus Butiev, and watch my breakdown of Boacek versus Michael Fox. Watch my breakdown of Boacek versus Virgil. Watch my breakdown of Boacek versus Mosley. Boacek is just a guy that I had written off 3 fights ago, and I guess somewhere along the lines I got honey dicked, and they're bringing him back in, and I just read that wrong. Okay, the boys out here. Wu is dangerous. He's very tough and durable. That's up. Yeah, and like Wu is a guy, and he was singing "End of the Road." Wasn't that or was he singing "I'll Make Love to You"? Either way, he was singing "Boys to Men." Philly in the house. He's a hard guy not to like. So sometimes I can hedge my own bets with an emotional hedge. And I like Wu. I like Nahir Albright. I think he's good for the sport. I want to see him well off. He's just one of these guys that, you know, seems like a really good dude. My hedge on Albright of me liking him is that he'll be tough enough to go the distance with Keyshawn. And we've seen Keyshawn sometimes, you know, have a guy hurt. Now he didn't do that against Jermaine. He had Jermaine hurt. He attacked. But when he was on the come up, there's been moments where he's had a guy hurt and he's kind of stepped off. But look at his 4 out of the last 5 fights are by stoppages. Keyshawn Davis's only fight in recent memory that he didn't get the stoppage, I think, was Miguel Medueno. So I mean, statistically, the odds are in the side of Keyshawn stopping Nahir, but Nahir's never been stopped. And I think this is Nahir's best version. So I'm already dug in. And the Keyshawn knockout isn't even plus money. We have to think about that as well. Where's the value in Keyshawn by knockout against a guy who's never been stopped? Why not flip that over into plus money? And it's gambling for a reason. Scared money don't make money. Take Keyshawn on points. That is the logical betting move. That's the sharp move. Gary talks up Patty like, oh, dude, look, every time I try to put on Gary's live stream, he's either making a homoerotic comment about somebody, or lately, gee, if you're listening, he thinks Google's out to. Gary might be a conspiracy theorist, man. But yeah, is he on Patty? He's. I don't know. No comment on that, man. I tried watching the live stream like the other day, and he was talking about how I didn't like what he said about Kieran Rustin, by the way. That kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. Because I know Kieran, and Kieran's a really good dude. I just don't think running, and I'm no gatekeeper of ethics, but the way I run my channel is a little bit different. I'm not going to sit here and call anybody, a derogatory comment. I didn't know why is he like Patty? He thinks Patty's going to outbox Sugarjan. Keyshawn might be pressing because it'll be emotional after what happened last time. Brother got beat up. I've seen a tweet from Keyshawn that said otherwise. I think he's capping. Sometimes these dudes just be using other names promoting. What's up, Fresh? Julius, Keyshawn stopped world-class boxers. Nah. Baranchik, Olympian, Ukraine, world champion. Baranchik was coming up, though, and he was already boiled. He was already on this. I think Dennis was, 35 in that fight? He was coming up. He was small. Jermaine Ortiz. Are we saying Jermaine Ortiz is world-class? I think he is. I think people would argue with us saying that he is. And Ortiz has a win over Wu, but Ortiz didn't stop him. Key already went the distance. If it already happened, it's plus money. It just makes sense to do that. Yeah, self-made. Ocean Way, what's up, kid? The Tishani Way. Appreciate you, bro. King. I Frank Moore Moneyline. Me too. Me too. Me too. It was from that 5th round onwards. Frank started off strong. Might have had him up 4-1. And then the conditioning with Frank. That's always going to be the issue. And then you just started seeing Nahir get more confident. The jab. He kept hurting Frank with a jab. And Nahir has 7 knockouts. I think Nahir has a 40% knockout to win ratio. Of his 17 wins, he's 17-2 and 1. The one draw, the one no contest. Oh no, that's not even on the record. He's 17-2 and 1. The one draw with Frank, and his 2 losses were his first ever pro fight, and then he lost the decision to Jermaine Ortiz. But he doesn't really punch like that. And it just shows you how important it is to be conditioned. The scariest place you will ever be in a fight is when you run out of gas. I always tell my clients that, I'm teaching, people who want to learn how to fight, I'm teaching them the box, and like their ultimate test is when they get to spar me. And, conditioning, technique, then conditioning, do your road work, conditioning, hit the bag, conditioning, shadow box. You don't ever want to be in a fight second guessing your conditioning, especially at the pro level. And, you just saw it in Frank's eyes. I don't know. Keyshawn is a clown. I don't care what comes out of his mouth. I just want to see him stop talking smack. Yeah. You just got to know how to deal with them. Respect to Dubois for taking a couple knees, bro. The knees Dubois was taking, you could clearly see that was he's done that before. Who was the kid he fought a couple years ago? He gets dropped in the first and knocked him out in the third, or he got dropped in the second and knocked him out in the fourth. He took a knee in the second. We've seen Dubois do this. This is clearly a tactic, and this is a smart tactic. It's crazy that not all boxers take advantage of the knee. If you get buzzed, if something feels right, doesn't feel right, don't stand up and punch while you're hurt. This is how you get knocked out. You take the knee. Morrell. Let's not talk about Morrell. Y'all can't count out. Ooh. I think every fight is different. I'm not playing a knockout prop yeah. Okay, so these are systems, guys, we're all collectively agreeing upon in the strategy of betting, right? Because it goes past just the sport. Boxing is our sport. Once we get past the sport, strategy is equally as important as what we're seeing with our keen eye of the research. How to bet, how much to bet, when to bet, how often to bet. And then when we're talking props, you got to go all value. If you're doing prop bets, it has to come down to value. And sometimes it's hard for us not to take. I'm a victim of this at times, is that I want to play a prop so much, the value might we should be. I should be playing $1.30 knockouts, logically. And then when lately the $1.30 knockout hits, we'll sit here and say, I told you so, it was a gimme. But every now and then there are no gimmies to where that $1.30 knockout will lose. So if you would have a strategy to always say and stand on and be firm with, whenever these props are that low, I'm just not going to play it. When that $1.30 knockout loses, you would never lose. The other side of that, 8 out of 10 times when it wins, you would never win. So it's just tough, man. And this is why I don't judge anybody's strategy. I know betting is you guys know this, betting is very dogmatic. You see it in our comments section. You see it even in our Discord. And I think our Discord is very good at kind of not judging people. But there's people who think that their way is the right way. I know guys who think that taking 3 massive favorites and betting thousands on is the right way. I know guys who think that if you're not getting plus money, you're not doing it the right way. I know guys who think that parlay bettors are stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? My advice to you is whatever way you find most success with, do that. But it is also important to have systems. I think Keyshawn would stop Martin. And life and death with Martin. I think Keyshawn stops Martin. I told Keyshawn's in my pound for pound list, guys. I'm a big fan. We don't have to like the fighter. Like we don't have to be friends with the fighter. We don't have to like how they move outside the ring. I'm coming at it from a purist perspective. What am I seeing with the hands? How is he moving? What's his setups like? How skilled is he? What's that jab like? What's the hand speed like? Traps. How big is his tool bag? How much of a dog does he got in him? How durable is he? Like, Keyshawn ticks it all for me, dude. In the ring, you'd be hard-pressed to give me anybody at 140 that I would take over Keyshawn. Anybody at I think Keyshawn beats Gary Antoine Russell. I think Keyshawn beats Andy Hiroka. I think Keyshawn beats my mind's we got I wanted to see Keyshawn versus Hitch, but it seems like Hitch moved up to 47, right? I think Keyshawn beats GAR. I think Keyshawn doglots Dalton Smith. Keyshawn versus Shakur, we probably won't see that. And I think Keyshawn stops Pitbull Cruz. Keyshawn is that dude, guys. Don't get it twisted. Don't let the media lie to you. Keyshawn's a goddamn beast. His hand speed, his jab, his power, and he's mean. Like where Richardson Hitchens lacks, because I'm a fan of Hitchens' jab, I'm a fan of his hand speed, his feet. Keyshawn is meaner in there. Keyshawn is mean. You need that. I'd love to see Keyshawn versus Dalton Smith. Pfft, shit. He looked. I don't think I've ever seen Patty look good. Patty looked good in the amateurs. Patty looked good in the amateurs. There's good foot. Dude, Patty had a. Dude, he's a. I mean, what is he? 100 and I think he might have over 150 amateur wins. I could be wrong. But the amateurs ain't shit. I knew I got that, man. Yeah, Patty, 161 and 5. 13-time national. But that's the amateurs. That ain't shit. Ask the Cubans about that. You have to take into consideration when we're talking about our fighters, we have to talk about their amateur pedigree. When I mean it ain't shit, it's by no means the end all and be all of what a pro is going to look like. I mean, we see this. The Cubans are our perfect teacher for this, to let us know that a gold medal in this era of the Olympics don't mean shit when you're a pro. Even any medal, even just being an Olympian. Albright hurt Keyshawn before 3 years ago. Johnny, August is my birthday month. Early August or late August, big dog? My birthday just came and passed. Your birthday's coming up. Teamwork, baby. Let's go. JSB Insiders, we up. Lee McGregor might be a dog. He might be. Those odds are really close right now. On paper, he is the dog. Look into Kusei and Jerusalem, boys. Come on, do me the favor. Barium. Where's Barium boxing at? I need Barium to do a breakdown. I want to see because I've already done my film study. I just haven't given my prediction yet. I want to see Barium's thoughts on Kusei versus Jerusalem. What's up, Magana? Seattle in the house. You gotta get a picture of my fellow Buckeye in your icon. Jackson Smith and Jigba. JSN. Yeah, Haddam. Okay. So Haddam is a live dog. I think Kusei is a live dog. Barium thinks that and this is look into. He thinks Sylvester is live here too. Lee McGregor is going to retire Gomez Jr. Okay, loving it. Yeah, me and McGanna see eye to eye. Right now, our dog of the week is in the UFC. Okay, Lloyd Hernandez. Ask and thou shalt receive. I was asking about Kusei versus Jerusalem. Lloyd Hernandez says, Kusei is a live dog, mate. I'm watched live on the first fight here in the Philippines. I think Kusei won, but it's a hometown for Jerusalem. I think Kusei. This is what I saw, Lloyd. You rewatch it. It was very nip and tuck, right? The fight was in Manila, and Jerusalem got the decision. This fight is in South Africa, boys. I think it has trilogy written all over it. I think I'm going to jump right now on Kusei. Lloyd, I appreciate you. The Philippines in the house. I needed somebody to pat me on the shoulder and say, hey, Jay, I'm seeing what you're seeing, bro. I watched the first fight too, because it's exactly what I said earlier in the stream. I got caught. Guys, wherever you are in the world, we're approaching an hour. We're floating between 60 and 70 in here. Like the video. Is there a dog of the week for boxing? It's coming, Jerry. Jerry, you know I got you, bro. It's only Wednesday here in Sydney. We got time, baby. I didn't pick a dog last week in boxing. I picked it in UFC. You're going to get one in boxing this week, bro. 100%. You might get it tonight. You might get it after this live stream. Shout out to Lloyd Hernandez. Harley, what's up? I appreciate the support, guys. We're a growing community. We lean on each other. This is not a one-man show. You see my head, the talking head, but, we're open. We're all in this together. We want to win together, right? We're not going to agree on everything, but even fights that we disagree on, it's a, you know what I'm saying? It's about me and Fresh BX don't agree all the time. Me and Barry Unboxing don't agree all the time, but I'll always listen to what you have to say. That's the difference. I'm here for it. If you, in any of my takes, I mean, we all have awful takes. We all have amazing takes. I think the difference is I'm always open to feedback. If ever you think that I missed something on my film study, let me know. If Barium is I'm gonna go back and look at another Sylvester fight because Barium Boxing brought it up again. I never thought I would spend 3 hours on watching Louis Sylvester's game, but I will. I noticed Johnny talks more shit about. Here's why, Fresh BX. Fresh BX, you know why? And I'm glad you brought this up. I talk more shit about NBA players because it's not a blood sport. It's a team sport. You can't die playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? So we could be, and it's all in fun, but that is my biggest boundary. Is in a sport like boxing, which you guys know I grew up boxing. A lot of you guys who watch this are either boxers yourself or at least thrown a punch. You know, you respect the game. People die in our sport, dude. And fighters will retire with brain damage, and fighters will retire with Parkinson's, and fighters will be broke and poor. And, world champions we're talking about. It's not a sport to call the athlete. Boxing isn't a sport to call the athletes any sort of derogatory terms. That's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from an empathetic perspective. Basketball, these cats are playing a game with a team. Motherfucker, they're not allowed to hit each other. Dudes are wearing purses with nail polish. Motherfucker. That's why. Johnny, it's not, man. It's not okay to call any fighter trash. I disagree, bro. I understand that people do. But I'm going to stand on that. I mean, walk in. I could go into my local gym here in Sydney and I'll see a guy who fought for a world title in 1994 still hanging around the gym, and he got the shakes and he's living off the government. It's a brutal sport. No fighter is trash. I don't call any fighter trash. But that's just me. I'm an old man. We're also super for trading in the 12th after nearly getting dropped in the 11th. Bro, Zach. Zach. Agreed. Jay Grizz. Jay Money. Right, Morrell fight knocked the wind out of me. I ain't lose. I know, bro. We got PTSD, boys. We're a little bit gun shy up in here. Benavidez, I know. Morrell dropped Benny. Oh God, Julius did it. Julius done did it. Heaney versus Warburton. Is Hughes versus Sylvester all over again. Maxie looks way slower at oh shit. Julius. You think Hughes loses to Sylvester? Oh God. Heaney versus Warburton. How dare you jinx us? Sub Russ followed up on Lee McGregor versus Gomez Jr. Need to do tape, but based on what I've seen before, Gomez is a big idiot. Tyson Fury boys think McGregor. Okay, yeah, McGregor is. Lee was the favorite going into the Nathaniel Collins fight, even though he lost. It just people, good amateur. He was the one with the shine. People. Yeah, Lee McGregor. I think I'm leaning Lee. I said it earlier though. It's always tough for me once I fade a guy to go back on him. I'm speaking about Boacek. I faded Boacek multiple times, went back on him, and I got burned. That's the game we play. In my opinion, if McGregor wins, it's a huge. Wow. What's up, History Vault? So if McGregor wins, it's a huge upset. See these. Shout out to the domestic scene, boys. Shout out to that British domestic scene with these B-level, C-level fights. The odds wouldn't say that, though. The odds literally, are kind of trending even. Taking Gomez. Who do you have on the Brian? Oh, Brian Norman Jr. for sure. If I could get Norman Jr. by destruction, I think we're getting a good price on Gomez. 71% return, brother, is good. These British fights, dude, it's the matchmaking. Queensberry lately. It's the Queensberry matchmaking. They're kind of like tapping into a niche, which is good. They're tapping into a niche of like, let's pair together, let's make 50-50 fights with guys who probably will never even be at the world level, and let's make it hard for the bettors. Gomez did look good against Flynn, boys. Gomez looked strong in his win versus Flynn, but Choi made it easy for him by fighting his fight. Michael does apply a lot of pressure, though. McGregor got buzzed in the second round versus Isaac Lowe. I got to watch the Lowe fight. Karen Hartley, a finisher. His second to last fight, he went 10 with a dude we don't know. This is the best out besides Boost. I see a distance fight too, Fresh. I agree. That's why I said the boogeyman didn't drop him. Now Zach Chelly. I know. Bruh. Bro, how did Booty have not knock out Boacek? How did Booty have not KO Boacek? Dude, and Boacek won the fight. On Patty, though, comparing the two Crocker fights, I was shocked how bad he adjusted when all Crocker changed was. Yeah, all Crocker changed was he lived on the ropes and ducked his head and threw haymakers. Crocker's game plan was let me not punch. Crocker's game plan in the second fight was let me not punch, let me lead Patty in, let him fight with emotions, let me duck. Even the first, dude, those hooks he landed. What? Crocker's here. He catches him here. Like, bro, what are we doing? Ortiz got stopped with 3 seconds left of that fight. The swindler. I love snatch. Guys, when's the last time you watched Scarface? I was watching it last night for the first time in a long time. Something that I missed in like when I was a young kid watching Scarface that I didn't pick up on is how big of a pervert Scarface is. When I was a kid, I never picked up on his infatuation with his sister either. I was watching it last night, and the only reason I'm changing because I love Snatch, and they said that word in the movie last night. I didn't pick up when I was younger, like Pacino's relationship with his little sister, dude. Weird to me. Chris, I'm on a live. I'm gonna.
I just need 2 minutes.
Do you want to let everybody know you said hi? I'll lock it up in 5 minutes. All right, talk to me. Go on. No, go on.
So something like I've got a referral that's just come through
Uh-huh.
from All People Medina, but I need to like get it done now.
Okay.
So can we catch up
After.
like later?
So I have a 1:30 client, and then I have a 3 p.m. client, and then I could come up. We'll do Pete.
Tonight.
Okay. Let me know how it goes. I love you. Bye. All right. I'm gonna stay on live then. I was supposed to go. I do have to run to the post office. Kevin Lorena. How do you feel about the Keon fight? Look, guys, I'm playing the Davis brothers, the A side, the Norfolk, the top rank. There's a 5-leg. King, have a look when we get off of here at top rank fights and the A side's winning. It's a thing. Dubois took a knee. Yeah, Kevin Lorena. Shout out to the chat. Lorena's the same dude who had Justice Hooney hurt in the 10th. Lorena, dude, when he was Lorena kind of a little bit dangerous. David Moreau should take a lead. Damn, boys. And look, Moreau was $1.07. I only had him in 2 parlays. The one parlay paid plus 110. The other parlay paid plus 300. So it's not like I was out money. It's not like he lost me thousands. Collectively, he lost our whole community hundreds of thousands. Because we go into these fight weeks and we take for granted certain matchups and we just think it's a sure thing. Guys, I know a dude who put 50,000 to win 20,000. Morel was on his ticket and he lost. Oh, guys. So that like part of me being sick about the Morel loss is like the empatheticness in me about like I know a guy who bet 50 grand. And that's his second big loss in 3 months. Guys, fuck. That's his second massive loss in 3 months. Oh, God. Dude, we are modern day riverboat gamblers. This is a savage game we play, boys. Morel could have taken 2 to 3 knees in 12 and still. It was only a 10-rounder. Was it? It was a 10-rounder. Bury him. Thank you, brother. Bury him. I'm not going to say prioritize that, but I want to see your read. Even if you don't give me a prediction on Kusay versus Jerusalem, I want to know how you scored the first fight. What's up, Cut Creator? Tuesday. Dude, it's early, baby. It's early. It's Wednesday, May 13th, 11:15 a.m. here in Sydney. We're still in our research mode. We're still watching film. Some of the boys, some of the dogs the boys like that you guys should be looking at. It's sort of a 50-50 fight. McGregor versus Gomez. Doherty versus Hatim. Hatim is a plus 300. I like Kusei right now at plus 225 against Jerusalem. The Chukachin versus Patty fight is sort of a toss-up 50-50. So there's some action. What's up, Brendan? What's up, Johnny? Assuming Philip wins, do you see Hrgovic versus Dubois? What's up, Brendan? Great question. Something that I haven't seen really too many people talk about with Hrgovic, and before I misspeak, isn't Hrgovic fighting with Abel Ramos? Isn't he fighting in Big Bear? Isn't Philip Hrgovic, didn't he move his whole camp? He looked good. Hrgovic's last fight, I thought I'm pretty sure the boys and I, we took him to win by knockout. No, Adelaide, he beats Adelaide on points. He got stopped against Dubois. When was that fight? He hasn't fought since August. Who is Hrgovic? Who is Hrgovic's trainer? Didn't he go to California? Yeah, Abel Sanchez. So this is something that this is a good thing. We know about training in Big Bear. We know about Gennady Golovkin. We know about the work Abel Sanchez has been doing as one of the sneaky good coaches in North America, probably in all of boxing. So I do like that move for Hrgovic. I think he steamrolls Dave Allen, and because you got to ask yourself, what does Dubois do? You know what I mean? Like, do we really want to see a third fight with Usyk? I don't know. Probably not. He's already starched. Like, the heavyweight division is in an interesting place because you got like one side of the heavyweight division, the OGs, the old heads, the turning of the guard. They're still fighting, and people are still paying to see them fight. Tyson Furies of the world, Deontay Wilder's of the world. Usyk said he has at least 3 more fights left. But do we want to see Dubois get in there? I think let those guys make more money. Dubois, what, 27, 28? And you know, then you got guys like Moses. Is Dubois too much too soon for Moses? Do we still need Moses to have a few more fights? So and Philip Hrgovic is somewhere in the middle. Like, it's an interesting division. It's a good question. I would tune in for the rematch, man. I would tune in for the rematch. Zach, let's pull up these odds then. So shout out to Zach. He says he likes distance. Hrgovic and Allen's tough as nails too, man. You know, I don't know if there's a fighter who Dave Allen frustrates me. As a coach, Dave Allen frustrates me. As a fight fan, Dave Allen frustrates me because you see Dave Allen and you think to yourself, is he a heavyweight? Like, could he make cruiserweight? Probably. Dave Allen, discipline at cruiserweight. He has good skills. Like, he has, dude, read about like stories of him sparring world level guys in the UK for years. Good hand speed, good punch placement. Like, the thing with Dave Allen though, it's like he has sort of adhered himself to just being a fraction of his potential. And in boxing, when you're fighting guys like Makhmadayev, who's a giant, and you're getting hit with shots that you shouldn't be getting hit with, it kind of makes me like, man, if you'd have taken your career a bit more serious, and I'm not talking about the money, he's finally making the money, which is great. He's become like an online sensation, which is great. I'm here for it. I think he's great for the sport. This another one of these guys. He's kind of like akin to like your Rolly Romero's of the world in the lighter divisions. Like he's good on the mic. He says crazy stuff. People tune in. He sells. But at least Raleigh will always come in shape. Raleigh's one of my favorite fighters, man. You guys sleep on Raleigh. Raleigh's one of my favorite fighters, I gotta say. I love an underdog. I love a cat who multiple division world champion. I always talk about whenever Raleigh doesn't get brought up enough. I'm gonna reach out to Raleigh and do a live with him. I talked to him on Instagram. Raleigh's my guy. But with Dave Allen, it's like I think that we could have seen such a better fighter. You know what I mean? Like I think he's one of those guys that fights down to his potential. Shit like that bothers me. I've been there in Thriller Malala, Coos, Jerusalem. I scored a 100. Okay. Jerusalem. Okay. Wow. Philippines in the house. Emma Banana. So we got truly an international show. So you scored it for Jerusalem 195. How do you see the rematch going? The original Scarface movie was incestuous, but I didn't get that from the Pacino version. I just seen the protective brother wanted to keep his sister away from the shady dudes. Yeah, I was salty he killed Manolo because, like, wouldn't you want your boy to hook up with, like, and then he was like, I don't know, there was just some weird scenes. Also, man, the way Pacino was going after old girl in the beginning, boy, he was like, I will. He just straight up asked Michelle Pfeiffer, could you have kids? It's like, damn, dude, this dude's game was out there. That movie is like 3 movies in one. I love that movie. I wish the movie would have trended more towards that first hotel massacre. You know what I'm saying? Like that iconic with the chainsaw. I wish it would have just kept going that route. I heard that before. It's actually a thing. If you look it up, people have talked about this. Uh, yeah. It's just how I stand. Look, I'm not trying to stand on a high horse. I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion. I'm not talking down on anybody for your own opinion. You could call fighters trash, call them mud. It's sometimes funny to do. I think maybe that's why I like calling an NBA basketball player mud just tickles my fancy. It's funny to me to say. And I'm making fun of my own team's players, like Dean Wade. Dean Wade should not be on an NBA team. Dean Wade is mud. So, but I'm not going to say that about a guy who's a fighter. Hrgovic looked good last fight. He's getting a bit an age. Adelaide did rock him. I can see Allen doing something similar, like what he did to Makhmudov, but not enough to get the win. I think the fight goes the distance. I like Hrgovic on points. Let's see what that pays. Hrgovic money line ain't paying shit. Wow. Okay. Everybody, I think the odds have this wrong. Everybody is just, you telling me Filip Hrgovic is going to come to Dave Allen's hometown and stop him. The points are plus 205, gentlemen. I like Hrgovic on points here. If you take, let me clear this log. If you take Hrgovic on points at plus 205, and you parlay that with Keyshawn on points at 255, plus 677. Keyshawn and Hrgovic on points, plus 677. I mean, when we're talking about value, Dubois could take an easy one for big money Wilder. Queensberry would jump on that. I wouldn't mind seeing Dubois versus Jagba. I like Kiki Torres. You guys know that. Frank Sanchez. Kiki's one of these guys. He never makes his life easy. You know what I mean? In his fights. I mean, he handled the Italian kid pretty well. You know, Venata and Venata, right? Why did I say Lando Venata? That he fought in the UFC. Guido Venata. He handled Guido pretty well, and Guido stopped. Didn't Guido stop Makhmudov? Plus Stadium, home fight for Allen. Herg decision. Let's go. It's all good, Cody. These Nepko's favorite heavy method of victory can help us get paid. Keyshawn Hrgovic points, even though it's heavy, plus 677. I don't hate it. Yeah, fighters call other fighters trash. Yeah, those are fighters, though, Fresh. fighters call other fighters trash because they're fighters. I mean, we don't have to people who aren't risking their lives, people who aren't risking their lives for peanuts shouldn't be calling the people who are risking their lives for peanuts trash. Raleigh trash, you crazy, dude. Raleigh's one of my favorite fighters. I love me some Raleigh Romero. You crazy. I'm not a quaalude in the morning. She love me in the morning. I like the eyes. They never lied. The eyes, Chico. Fly, pelican, fly. Yeah, now we're getting some Cameron lyrics. Cameron quoted the hell out of that film. Vanello alluded to being I as a pun. Guido versus Moses. Nice litmus test for Moses. Yo, Guido underrated. That just goes to show you how good Kiki is, guys. We up. We still good.